What about Ukraine? I don't know. What would you encourage people to watch out for?
It is stalemated to a certain point, and it's horrible to use that language to call it a stalemate. But Ukraine is rapidly developing their drone capacity. Just recently, a couple of weeks ago, Ukraine developed its first all Ukrainian produced drone. Now, typically Ukraine uses motors from China, but now they have motors that were developed inside of Ukraine, which is a capability the U.S. barely has.
Wow,
That's a big deal.
that is
Developing motors, because a lot of countries they can manufacture their own struts, their own carbon fiber or whatever, but it's really tough to make those motors, because most of the production, most of the capacity is in China. So I think that we are kind of at the point now where Ukraine is going to build so many of these drones that they're essentially going to take over a lot of the roles that the infantry has. Ukraine just recently conducted its first it's the 13th National Guard. Back in December, they conducted their first all-drone, including ground drones, attack against Russian positions. They managed to take and hold ground. It's not something I ever thought I would see.
what. Well, could Ukraine still change the direction of the war? Quick fire answer, because right now Russia does have the momentum. The loss of Kursk, that's a big deal. I think, maybe it wasn't ever going to be the game changer in terms of negotiations or on the battlefield on the east of Ukraine, but it's still a significant setback for the Ukrainians, right? So could this emergence of the drone capacity of Ukraine really be a kicker that we do see a shift or not so much?
I think it's certainly possible. Ukraine doesn't have a military recruitment problem, despite what we've been led to believe. Ukraine doesn't have a problem with people joining their military. Ukraine has a problem with people wanting to join infantry units. So that's their big problem. That's one of the reasons they've kind of focused on outsourcing a lot of this stuff to drones. When the war in Ukraine first started, 70% of the casualties were from artillery. Now 70% of the casualties are from drones. And one of Ukraine's major advantages is that they have literally thousands of these underground drone factories that are in people's garages and people's basements. And a lot of these drone factories are associated with brigades. And that's why you see like these drop videos, of Russian soldiers, they drop a mortar round on the guy and you see the brigade symbol and a little piece of text to go to the brigade's webpage, perhaps donate. So the drone factories that are owned by, these individuals working in their basement, the drone factories make the drones. They give the drones to the brigade that they're associated with. The brigade actually gives them refinements saying like, hey, can you make this propeller bigger? Can you make this camera do whatever? And then the funding for that comes from the videos that the brigades put online. So in some ways you have brigades competing with each other for clicks, right? Who can make the best videos so that way they get the funding they need.